Welcome back to another edition of Bourbon Kingdom. I'm David.
And I'm Zach.
And today we are going to kind of go through 6 of our favorite, what we would call low-end allocation bourbons.
Yeah. So we get messages from time to time like, hey, would you rather have a Blanton's or a Weller? Or would you rather have Elijah Craig Barrel Proof or a Four Roses Barrel Strength? Like, we get these questions a lot, and it's like, some of them are kind of more difficult, like, would you prefer the Elijah Craig or the Four Roses? Some of them just are a little bit more easier. So we just kind of thought, like, we would kind of talk about what we think are good low-end allocation and what we actually like. So we picked 6. Now, a couple of things that we need to say. First off, like, subscribe, comment, all those kind of fun
Turn
things.
them notifications on.
Yeah, all that. That's the easy, fun stuff, right?
Yeah.
Hard stuff. We totally understand that all this stuff's hard to find. It's hard to find for us here. Like,
yes.
It's hard to find for everybody. And some of y'all got it way worse. And
some of you have it better, especially on the first one that I see.
Yes, that is true.
If you live in the state of Ohio.
Fair.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, this is what we consider low-end allocation. Some other people might not. Some other people might say, this is really high-end allocation. Some people might say, this is like not allocation to me. This is our opinion on it. So things that I think are semi-reasonably priced. If you go into a liquor store that raises prices, I think they're semi-reasonably priced. And they're not going to break the bank most of the time if you get 1 or 2 of these a year.
And again, you all have seen some of our whiskey grabs and some of the stuff that we've gotten, especially in the last several months. So when you see what we got, you'll see why we say it's low-end allocation. And I think in that sense, like, we happen to be able to get some things that are harder to get than some other places.
That's true.
And so we hunt those things even more than what we would hunt some of this stuff.
Yeah,
but
that's very true.
So I'm just kind of giving a full disclosure, disclaimer.
We're trying to put as enough disclaimers so that way whenever somebody writes down in the comments like all the hateful mean stuff, you all just know. So, but anyways, let's go ahead and begin.
Yeah.
So the first thing we're going to start with is the Weller Antique. Now, yes, we understand. I think it's like Ohio and Texas. Like, this stuff just sits on the shelves. I don't want to say it even sits on shelves, but it gets released like weekly, and you can go get one weekly and stuff. I get all of that. I think out of the Weller line, not counting BTAC, I think out of the Weller line, this is the best one.
Yes.
So yes, there's more value with store picks. These are, this is not a store pick, but I think these are honestly really good.
Yes.
And out of all of them, this is the only one. Like, I'll pass on a bunch of them. I typically don't pass on this because it's super solid.
It's solid, and you're generally gonna get what you pay for out of this.
Mm-hmm.
Just a really, really solid low end allocated bourbon.
And it's a weeder. All right, next
weeder
one.
And a heater.
Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. Now,
which one are we? Which one are we done?
I think that's
B521.
B521.
Mm-hmm.
Not our favorite.
No, not.
But for the most part, they're really good.
Yes, they are.
The single barrel, the new private single barrels that they're doing, they're fantastic.
Yeah, those are good.
And I mean, Dave,
I just opened my match one the other day.
Oh, that one's so good.
It is so good.
Yeah, that's a little cigar bar by me. It is phenomenal.
Yeah,
I love that pick.
Yep.
But these, I don't know if anybody who honestly, if they just put a little effort into it every year, can't get one of the 3 batches.
Yes. Because they seem to release pretty heavily.
They release a ton of them. Great age statement. Normally the proofs are really good. I think they've taken a smidge step back, but like that new one that we released, that new B batch was crazy good.
Yeah, surprisingly, really, really good. I enjoyed it.
All right, next one. We haven't really talked a whole lot about these. I don't think before on like we've talked about the distillery, but not actually these. Old Forester 100 proof single barrels. Now, people go crazy over barrel strengths, and a lot of them are really good. Not questioning any of that. You don't really see a whole lot of these unless it's like a restaurant or a bar.
You don't.
You'll see, like the distillery will put stuff out.
Yeah.
But these are super great, and they take whatever, whenever you're upset about the heat or it's super hot outside, sipping on these are just fantastic.
Yeah. And they're coming few and far between. Like you said, they're I haven't seen one in a long time.
The where I normally get them now is whenever a bar will release them.
Yeah.
And I'll get a handful of those a year. But they're reasonably priced. They're like around like 50, 60 bucks.
Yeah.
You know, a couple bars I know will raise them to like 80 to 100.
Yeah.
But they're normally still really good.
Yeah.
Next one. I guess this would be our fourth one for the list.
Fourth one.
Smoke Wagon, uncut, unfiltered. I mean, Dave, do you want to talk about it? Because we know how much you love yours.
It's just magic. I mean, it's just all there is. Like, if you, especially in our area, these have become so available again.
That is so nice.
And
so
it is nice. It's really nice to be able to not have to pay. I don't know whatever secondary is on them anymore. It's come down. As a matter of fact, retail is about what secondary I think was a while back. It's a little bit different, but not much.
I still think people are trying to charge like around 100, 110.
Yeah,
on
but
secondary,
it was.
These are.
I saw one today at Total Wine, and it was $85. So
I don't like that.
Yeah, but that's I'm just so it's. I mean, it's,
but then I guess it's probably priced itself out.
It's really close.
But
we always talk like Aaron. He's a magician. He does wonderful things with almost everything that he puts out. Seems to be good. Some are better than others. Like I said, the batch 79 that I'm still nursing is a magic bottle. But every other one that I've had is good. So
awesome.
So it's always good. So this is one to find. Put in your repertoire.
My only complaint. Do you already know where I'm going with this?
Your only complaint is that it's not in a clear bottle.
I agree. I like those clear bottles better.
My only complaint.
All right, number 5 on the list.
Ooh.
Four Roses, single barrel strength. These things are, yes, they're hard to get. I know I'm just throwing something with that tag. I don't even know what I'm doing here. Anyway, yes, we know they're hard to get and blah, 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 and all that kind of fun stuff. But these things are such great value, and like they just became a daily drinker for me.
Yeah.
And I know we get more access to them because of the distilleries in Kentucky that release them. But man, like the value of them, and I get some people will chase the higher tiers, and I get some people go like, man, I see those higher tiers go for a couple $100. I get all that. Just because it's higher tier doesn't mean it's better. I mean, honestly, I'm drinking on one right now. It's a tier 1. I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it's an offer us, but it's not one of the OBSOs or OESOs. It's not anything like that. So these things never pass on. Honestly, out of everything on the list, I just don't pass on. They're all so good. A lot of them are unique.
That's what I love about the Four Roses single barrel strength line is there. I mean, it's almost like an endless like characteristics that go into them because you could get a tier 6 OESO tiers, like you can get all these. But I'm just saying,
people would freak out over it.
But you can get these different tiers in the same mash bill or whatever, and they still taste differently depending on where they are in the rick house. And so every time you're getting just some slight differences that make it. And so to me, value to what you get and just the eclectic nature of the Four Roses, they knock it out of the park. And again, you should never pass on any of them. If you see a barrel strength, pick it up. It's going to be $75 to $80, maybe at some stores, 85
I think so,
to 90.
pushing more, yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's worth every bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
Every bit of that. Like it is a solid drinker through and through. You just can't go wrong with it.
I agree.
Yeah.
Last one for the list. This actually used to be years ago a daily drinker of mine. E.H. Taylor, small batch. I remember whenever this bottle, I wouldn't say it would sit on the shelf, but I remember you could get 5 to 10 a month.
Yeah.
Just through different drops and different, whatever deliveries.
5 to 10 in 2 years now.
No, it's nowhere. It's people. What's crazy is they actually make a lot of this, but people just gather it all up and everything else. I think it's great. It's honestly like I like this more than a traditional single barrel. Now, if it's a single barrel pig, that's a little different. But I like small batch a lot. It just has a little bit more of that sharpness to it that I like.
Mm-hmm.
And what's crazy is I'm sitting here doing the list, and I'm like, man, like I debated, like you could honestly put a lot more Buffalo Trace on here.
Oh,
I mean,
yes,
you really could.
You
But honestly, I think I would rather have this than pretty much anything on the list, except for probably the, probably not Four Roses, and then it might be a tie between that and Elijah Craig if you can get a good private pick or certain batches that are really good.
I would go,
but I'm just a huge fan of it. So
I would go Four Roses and probably the Smoke Wagon.
Smoke Wagon's really good too.
That'd be my top two.
Yeah, all these are really good.
They're really, really good. Well,
let us know about the list, though. Let us know what you think. Let us know if we missed something, if we should have added something, if what we think's a low end allocation is or isn't. So,
yeah. Well, till next time, we'll see you.
See ya.